Cyclops and the X-Men are just raging across the internet like a wildfire right now, mostly due to this explosive image of Cyclops unleashing his beams. Fans are just flocking around this allegedly leaked trailer, discussing potential plot lines and trying to discuss its authenticity. But Beau De Mayo, the Disgraced and former X-Men 97 showrunner, is also hovering around this allegedly leaked Avengers Doomsday trailer like a vulture. Beau De Mayo is trying to scarf down as much clout as he can, but he inadvertently displays his arrogant delusions. I think everybody has known for a while now that Beau De Mayo is extremely self-obsessed. Just take a quick second to scroll through his X account. It seems like every other post of his is just him half naked, flexing, or holding his cat, or something weird like that. Here's a picture of him, half naked, wearing a Magneto helmet. Now, to a certain degree, Beau De Mayo does have a right to be a bit of a prick, to be a little self-absorbed, because, he is actually a fairly talented person. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you otherwise, because, if you're someone who has seen X-Men 97, in many ways it was a very good show. Some people call it a masterpiece. I wouldn't go quite that far, but I'd say in many respects it was very good. Now, Beau De Mayo's egomania has just stretched to a new level. One that even his biggest fans are no longer even able to defend anymore. A lot of people who really liked Beau De Mayo, who are huge X-Men 97 fans, are actually calling him out now, and I think that this is rightly so. So let's take a quick look at this tweet right here. Here Beau De Mayo says, "Glad my team and I could help Russo Bro at Marvel Studios. Hopefully you'll give the Chase Conley and his board team the flowers and credit they deserve." The Russo brothers are some of the biggest names in the MCU, at least in terms of directors. They directed Winter Soldier and also Captain America Civil War. So in order to prove that Beau De Mayo is actually indeed the person responsible for this leaked Doomsday trailer, he shows these 3 gifs from X-Men 97 so you can see Cyclops shooting his optic blasts. Beau De Mayo went on to say, "It's important as fans to honor the artists that brought this to fruition. The X-Men 97 and I faced significant doubt and resistance from the studio when I insisted Cyclops be the main character, instead of Wolverine. So it is weird to see this trailer and fans crediting certain folks for honoring Cyclops when this was a direct pivot that occurred only after X-Men 97's unexpected success. I, for one, am grateful to Chase Conley and Emi Yonemura for having my backup and helping me execute this part of my vision for restoring Cyclops. It does trouble me that I've seen Kevin and Marvel Studios credit Jon Favreau and other white creators for setting this tone and direction to the MCU, but completely ignoring the work of many black, queer, Asian, and Latino teammates that actually set the tone and proved to Marvel, who is still on the Logan train, that Cyclops deserves his due. This counters the belief that DEI pushes agendas when you had Marvel's most diverse team all united behind Cyclops. More disheartening is seeing fellow artists like the Russo Bros completely ignoring our hard work and contributions, and that we did it with a quarter of the resources and support that they've been given. But what's most important is fans are happy, and that makes it all worth it. But I'd urge X-Men fans to reach out and show love to team of artists and animators who made this all possible." There are a lot of layers to Beau De Mayo's delusions. Let's start unpacking this bit by bit. One thing that I want to point out right away is how he has this little tiny addendum at the end where he says, "But what's most important is that fans are happy, and that makes it all worth it." But it's like this whole post is just spiteful, him complaining, basically saying, "I deserve the credit. It's me. It's about me. I need attention," right? But then he just has this little thing where he's like, "Actually, we should be happy. This is a W for the fans." And then there's something really funny about him tagging the Russo Bros, trying to get their attention and telling them, "You should be thanking me. I'm responsible." It's just really petty and passive-aggressive. Now, another bit of humor here for me is when he shows these images of X-Men 97, where Cyclops is making these really powerful optic blasts. I go, wow, that's really cool. But is that the only place we've seen Cyclops make some cool optic blasts? I mean, look at X-Men Evolution, the original X-Men animated series, and even X-Men 2. And of course, it's not even delving into the comic books yet, and if we are going to talk about who we should be thanking for this cool image, obviously let's start with Jack Kirby, then go down to John Byrne and Jim Lee, because those are probably, in my opinion, the people who have affected the character the most after it was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. And the way Beau's talking, you'd think, okay, so maybe you made the character what it is today, and, if you look at how Jack Kirby had initially conceptualized Cyclops, you could go, okay, I could see some differences. But again, you'd have to go down and see how this character, the Cyclops, had progressively changed with John Byrne, with Jim Lee, etc. Now, another massive aspect to this is it's not like Beau De Mayo was the first person to make an animated adaptation of the X-Men. If he was the guy who was behind the original X-Men animated series, I think that maybe I would give him a little more leeway here. But again, this is just a continuation of something that had been started in the 90s. This is a sequel series. Beau De Mayo reaches his peak delusion in a conversation between him and Jabba Gail Simone. So Gail Simone says, okay, this is Prime Cyclops. And Beau De Mayo just does the most hilarious thing ever. But unfortunately, it seems that Beau De Mayo is gaining a little bit of self-awareness, so he decided to go and delete this tweet. He must have realized how much it exposed him. But in this now deleted post, he was telling Gail that she needed to pay proper respect to him and to the other X-Men 97 team members, and that, this wasn't okay, and she was really confused. And you can see from the context of how Gail Simone is responding that she was not sure why Beau was being so aggressive, and also why he was, demanding that she give the proper respect. It really came across as delusional, the same type of delusions you'd hear from someone who's parading down the street, clad in some bed sheets, claiming that they are the Messiah. Gail Simone, though, she did try to be a little polite to Beau, and she said, Beau, I literally haven't gotten a clue what you're talking about. First, I have only seen the first episode of X-Men 97, although I have heard it's great. I just didn't want to be too influenced, which is my standard procedure. Second, I am not sure I understand, ... So then here, Beau De Mayo says, then all I'd ask is that maybe you'd look up some episodes. This team was literally the most diverse team of artists next to the Black Panther. I think it's important that their work be honored and respected in an industry that too often minimizes or whitewashes their work, especially directors Chase Conley and Emmett Yonemura. I love how shamelessly Beau De Mayo flashes his race card. It's something that Gail Simone can't argue with him about because, she is a very far-left individual. She said, Beau, I do intend to, but I am missing a connection here. No disrespect is intended to the team at all. Everyone working on the comics is aware that a code was cracked with 97 in the best way. I just tend to take from the comics. I haven't played Marvel Rivals either. And then Beau De Mayo continues with, please follow Chase Conley and Emmett Yonemura. They are superstars. My words were nothing without them. And then at the end here, she did say, if it helps at all, the one episode I did watch was pretty awesome. I do plan to watch the rest of the season. I just wanted to establish a different setting without too much influence from other media. I feel like we've done that, so I'll watch the rest sometime soon. And Beau De Mayo says, thank you. Beau De Mayo says, thank you, and sorry if I came off as hard. I feel really uncomfortable saying that. As gay black man. He doesn't say as a gay black man, he just says as gay black man. He's missing an article. I think he needs to go back to 2nd grade. Anyway, my experience at studio was traumatizing. Several other POC and artists have left because they were fearing for their mental health. I am still healing, as are they. But the situation there was textbook abuse, and much like Weinstein, it will come to light one day. So is that what's going on here? Was somebody sexually exploiting Beau De Mayo? Put on that Magneto helmet, boy. Yee-haw! I'm gonna give you the ride of your life. But Mr. Executive, sir, I don't know if I feel comfortable. Anyway, back to his tweet. But the situation there was textbook abuse, and much like Weinstein, it will come to light one day. But thank you for the love. As always, I know I come off harsh, but my experience there defies words, and I'm still shocked I was able to survive making what I did while being continually abused, as well as fighting for PAs and other far more helpless who were being nicknamed Wesley Snipes, and being ordered to crip walk where they'd crack the whip on us by Marvel employees. So after Beau De Mayo just kind of makes himself look really weird because he made this very long rant basically accusing Gail Simone of not being grateful, of not thanking him. And then she was like, I don't really understand. At the end, it just kind of devolves into, sorry, I'm a victim, I have been abused, I have PTSD. So he's just kind of trying to shift the blame to something else and also justify his reason for acting delusional. But I think that Gail Simone probably saw through it. A lot of people have been. So I'm not exactly sure why Beau De Mayo is doing this. Is he trying to weasel his way back into Marvel Studios? I don't think that poisoning the well here and claiming that you were being forced to crip walk, that you were being whipped, kind of drawing these allusions to slavery and constantly bringing up racism, that's probably not a good way to do that. Or is he just trying to win back the good graces of some of his team members? Is he just trying to get credit for this? That way his names appear on the credits of the movie? I don't know. Or maybe he just likes attention. Maybe that's all he wants. He just wants all eyes on him. What are the motives behind Beau De Mayo's lies? Let me know in the comment section, and always don't forget to like and subscribe, or...
You are a hoe-ass